Good evening, New York, 24th of June. Good morning, 25th of June, Australasia. Just a quick check here on the crypto miners, and I'm going to start with the IWM. The IWM is interesting. We can see we've come through this negative period post-election until we've really had a seating of feelings of where the administration is going, and then it's really been strong since about the end of April. We did have a little bit of the start of May. We had a few bumps, and then we've had this bump here where the market got squeezed, and the market was definitely squeezed. Looking at the positioning of the market, if I just had a quick look at it, here's the this is red is puts, green is calls, and we can see if we're looking at how they've gone, we've gone from really quite a strong position, which was reasonably delta hedged coming through, and then it's become very negative from about the 16th of June, and we've seen a whole lot of calls come off, but the puts have just sat there, and that is where the squeeze happened, and the squeeze happened on on Friday going into Monday. We can see that these puts were held, and then all of a sudden we have dropped almost half of our short-dated puts overnight in the IWM. If we just look at the greater IWM, at no stage did it look really tested here. The DPI has stayed reasonably high. The gamma has stayed reasonably constant. It has nowhere had the jump around that we've seen in some of the other indexes. You can see these tops here, how low the volume of short sales to purchases has been. Again here, much closer, a much bigger bottoming just before we took off, and we've then plateaued out, and we're in quite a holding pattern which has taken off again. Let's just quickly go and have a look at those miners. So now up above, the three indicators up above are all to do with MARA, time-layered, liquidity sentiment. We'll cut that one out for now, and then we've got two of these irregular liquidity. The irregular liquidity below these two and the time-layered, they're from our predetermined drop downs. They're from the Russell 2000 New York lit hours. So these are from that period. So they're operating in the same time as these tickers. They're open. They're not a futures. And we can see some discrepancies. We can see here that MARA was very negative going into April. Compared to down here, very quickly did the lit ETFs for the IWM that were trading during normal hours, they very quickly started buying. They have had a couple of interruptions here, which have been similar. That we had a little bit similar here to in MARA, but MARA has generally been quite strong through those points. And then we've had this one where we've had rising fear going into Friday with the Iran conflict in the Middle East. Down here in the 30 minutes, just interesting to see that the miners bought very hard into that whole dip. They jumped into it much earlier than we see down here in the IWM. Very similar sorts of patterns, but again we can see here the liquidity sentiment here for MARA it held on a little bit longer, but that was after a strong buy, and then it's had to really chase into from Monday into Tuesday. It just didn't see the rise, and then MARA has seen it. If we have a quick look, I'm just going to go through a couple of them. Again, we see this red period here down below in the IWM, and it's a very green period in Riot, and we have seen Riot outperforming some of the other stocks. Let's have a quick look at Wolf, and then I'll finish with Coin, which has really become my leading indicator for where the market decisions are going. So there's obviously some insider on what's happening there. So here we can see in Wolf, it was a very strong buy into Friday. Wolf really knew what was going on in comparison here to the IWM. Completely different. So Wolf, again, is a leading indicator. If we have a look at Coin, again, it's a very obvious difference. We've gone through this very negative period when Wolf has really been buying the whole way through this. If we zoom out to the 2 hour, I find it incredibly interesting how strong the Coin has been through these periods. So we look here going into the 8th of May bump, 9th of May bump, we see this very strong buying, where if we go down here into the Russell, it's below the line, but it's nowhere near as strong as that. And then we see here that Coin, there was just no interest in it. We look here at the time-layered, we look here at the irregular liquidity, these top two, there was no interest, where the people in the IWM were still buying hard. They were still worrying about what was going on. And then all of a sudden, come Thursday, Wolf's into it and they're buying. They've already made their mind up where this is going. Very interesting to see where the IWM, you see down here, these two, quite the opposite. They did not know where it was going right until Monday, and Monday in the close. They weren't certain about what was happening. All right, I hope you've liked my update and where we found some real alpha in the market, and we'll be using Coin regularly to update on where we're going with Mara, Riot and Wolf. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day's trading. I'll give an update tomorrow morning.